Hey peeps, we're going to keep this somewhat short. So in my previous video, the proof you are a master manifester, I received a question, and the question really revolves wonderfully around states. This is the question. I'm so good at this, and they mean manifesting. I'm so good at this, and then bad. Of course, it's SP related. I feel like the circumstances are in the way, and I would have to manifest something not so great happening to others to get my desire. Any videos to assist with that? Yeah, change your state, change your stories, quit telling that story. Bottom line, I'm trying to keep this video short, so I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole like I did with the proof you're a master manifester, though that was a good video. Stop telling that story. Stop writing it down on people's videos as a question. Stop it. Stop. Because it's always about you. You always bring it back to you. 1000%, you always bring it back to you. So in this moment, I want you to think about that SP, that person, your special person. And it could be a mother, father, a brother, sister, best friend, acquaintance, whatever. Think about a time that the two of you had a great time, whether it was a really deep discussion and you just couldn't hang up the phone, or you just wanted it to go on and on forever, or you were just having a great time doing something. And I want you to think about the feelings you were having in that moment. You may not even have a name for those feelings. Don't worry about that. I just want you to think about that feeling, those feelings, okay? Those feelings, that state, the state of mind, the state of being you were in, that is a version of you. That is not the same version who wrote this question. Those are two totally different people. That is you in two totally different states. And if you don't like being in the state of the person who had to ask the question, then stop asking the question. Stop seeking out fixing something that is broken, because the person who's trying to fix something that is broken is not the person who was having a great time in that relationship. This has nothing to do with your SP. This has everything to do with you and what state you're in. So in front of you is a big statement, and I'll go through it. When you understand that all things are happening right now, all things, the state of dissatisfaction, the state of satisfaction, the state of success, the state of unsuccessful, okay, they're all happening right now. You realize you don't become somebody or something. Okay, nothing becomes. It doesn't, you don't have a bank account that becomes bigger. You don't have a bank account that becomes smaller. You don't have a relationship with somebody that becomes better. You just don't. Once you realize that, you simply select the state that you would like, and then poof, you shift over to that state. It's that easy. It is that easy. So let's make it easier. The person who is blissfully happy in their relationship with whatever, whether it's an SP or it's your boss or whatever, who is that person, and what stories is that person weaving? When you are remembering being in a blissful state with this other person, how did you come away, from that story? How are you sitting differently than the dissatisfied person? How are you eating differently than the dissatisfied person? How are you, again, talking or writing questions differently? Isn't the person who's blissfully happy isn't even bothering saying anything or feeling anything or trying to fix anything? Yeah, no, that's a completely different person. And your job is simply to shift into that state, not by jumping through any hoops or hacks or or meditating for 50 hours or anything like that, though you can do that. You definitely have that available. All you need to do is tell a different story. And the most important person you are telling that different story to is you. It's those internal conversations you're having. Is your internal conversation one of frustration, and maybe you're creating a scenario where you and your SP are together and you said things differently or whatever? I mean, isn't that motherfucking exhausting? Isn't that just outrageously exhausting? And you can't seem to get off that roller coaster of reliving this situation over and over. And oh my God, that is a state unto itself. And how you get off that roller coaster is literally get the motherfucking off that roller coaster. Quit telling the story. Stop thinking about the story. Quit telling the story to yourself, especially. Quit telling the story to other people. Quit even living in a world where you could have a problem with an SP. Who would you be if you lived in a world where SPs were your perfect match and there was never ever any issue? Never. They the two of you just were so in sync, and everything was perfect. And when that SP wasn't around, you were still blissfully happy. You were just as happy whether that person was around versus when they weren't. Okay, you simply select the state of mind, state of being. So let's talk about money. If you're walking around thinking, I don't have enough money for this, I don't have enough money for that, I would like to do this, but I don't have enough money for it, that is a completely different state than the state of the person who has enough money to do whatever they want. Now, when you sit here and say circumstances don't, line up with what it is you want, there's your problem. You've got to move beyond the circumstances, because circumstances are manifestations that have already come about. They've already happened. So they really don't deserve any of your attention. Already thought about it, already happened, move on. Now you can revise those circumstances. You can go to bed tonight and change everything that happened to you throughout the day by telling a new story. You definitely can do that. You wake up at 3 a.m. and you're thinking about this problem or that problem. Well, how about instead sit there and tell yourself bedtime stories of success and bliss and ease and joy? You get to make that choice at all times. If you're sitting here saying, I feel like the circumstances are in the way, well then poof, what do you think you're manifesting? So instead, what I would suggest to this person is go back to the question that you wrote to me and now rewrite that question from the space of success, of celebration, of delight. Tell a wonderfully happy story. And so that is my challenge to everybody who's listening to this right here, right now. Down below in the comments, I want you to tell me the most wonderful story. Tell me the story you want to be telling. Tell me the story of absolute perfection and in every way. And if it feels weird or whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Nobody's judging you. I get to, in that moment, give your story a super boost by going, oh my God, I love this. Of course, this is happening to you. Of course, you're in the most blissful relationship. Of course you are. You and that person are total soulmates. It's easy for anybody to see. They don't even need to hear you guys. They just see you walking by and they can't even realize, are they looking at two people or one person? It's like, wow, these people are so in sync. Okay. So that's your challenge. Let me know if that answered your question. Let me know if you have any other questions. Take care.